So ICE is detaining Native Americans now. Not immigrants, not undocumented individuals. Native Americans! People who are quite literally indigenous to this continent. So I guess my question here is, where the fuck do you intend on sending Native Americans? Hi everyone, if you're new, welcome. If you're not new, bitch, it's time for the Daily Scream. As far as I checked, Native Americans are already home. This week in Minneapolis, ICE violently detained Jose Roberto Ramirez, who is not only a US citizen, but a Red Lake Nation descendant. They beat him, mocked him, ignored him when he said that he was Native, and they then held him for 6 hours without any charges. 4 members of the Ogallala Sioux tribe were taken off the street while homeless. No explanation, no paperwork, no idea where they were being held. Native people were stopped outside of coffee shops, they were pulled from their cars, dragged out of housing communities, all during what our government is calling the largest immigration raid ever. Native Americans are citizens by law, treaty, and history. They were here before the Constitution, they were here before ICE, and they were here before this government even existed. And now they're being told to prove that they belong here. If you have to carry papers to exist safely in your homeland, that's not law enforcement, that is straight up state violence. And Minnesota officials are calling this exactly what it is: lawless, racist, and dangerous. ICE isn't making any community safer. In fact, they're making them less safe. They're traumatizing families, they're escalating and starting needless violence. So let me be crisper here. If indigenous people aren't safe from ICE, nobody is.
Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time, welcome on board. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please hit on the subscribe button, hit on the notification bell so that whenever I drop a video, you'll be one of the first persons to be notified. So yesterday I did a video about how ICE are detaining Native Americans, and now white people are literally livid. I just love the fact that white people are livid. Like, some white people, of course, they are livid because how could you try to detain someone that owns the whole land? Like, it's kind of crazy. And just like I have been saying in my several videos, that we are actually living in times that you cannot even predict the next 1 minute, right? Things are changing so fast that you can't even keep up, right? Who would have thought that we will reach a time where Native Americans are going to be detained? Like, they are the ones that are supposed to drive any other person out of this country, right? But here are they being detained. Like, it's kind of crazy. And in the video, they were saying that some of their relatives that were detained by ICE are yet to be seen or are yet to be heard. Or literally, it's important that people unite, right? Because this is one of the importance of uniting and fighting for the right cause. But again, just like I said, Black Americans have seen this coming. They've warned a lot of people, but a lot of people took Black Americans for granted because they felt they always make noise about stuff. They are always crying about stuff, saying things about stuff. They are always acting as if they are woke, this and that. And now that things are happening, people are beginning to realize that all along these people were right. People would have listened the first time, but they refused to. Interesting times we are living in, just like I said. And I love the fact that white people are coming out to even be surprised and say their minds and see the truth for what it is, right? So guys, please drop your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what you think about this. I have more clips for you to watch. Stay tuned.
So these are 5 Ogallala Sioux tribal council members, and they have 4. There was 4 tribal members who were picked up by ICE in a community called Little Earth right here in Minneapolis, St. Paul, and one of them has been released, but they couldn't locate the other 3. So the council members here, they're all elected officials of the Ogallala Sioux tribe, and they gained access to the facility and they couldn't find their 3 tribal members. They claim that they're not classifying them by their nationality, which tribal members are also citizens of the United States since 1924. You know, there's nobody more American than American Indians, but they were unable to find them here today.
I just said we are Native, we're Native American, we are US citizens, and it just didn't matter.
You help us! We're citizens! Beto, get your ID. Okay.
Hey, out there.
Stop! Oh! Okay, Beto! Ow! Beto!
Can you explain what happened last week?
Yeah, this was literally just the day before when Renee Good got shot. I was just freaked out. Like, they don't want to stop nowhere where nobody would see. You know, it felt like I was getting kidnapped. Like, they literally rushed me out of my aunt's car, and handcuffed me, threw me in their car, and tried to keep me down, put my hoodie up. And they don't even care if you got your identification. They'll take you. Like, they're just evil people. I didn't think I had nothing to worry about because I was a U.S. citizen. You know, I'm half Mexican, half Native, you know. That didn't matter, though, to them.
How does it feel to be stopped by federal immigration agents as a Native American?
We thought we were safe. You are from here. We are Native. We are the original. Don't be scared. They can't do anything. Can't touch us. We are untouchable. Seeing what had happened to us and to my nephew, we are a nobody to these agents. About a month prior, I was driving over here and I was coming up to a stop and I didn't know it was ICE agents, and they were, and they started yelling, and I rolled my window a little and I said, "What?" And he said, "Coming for you." And I said, "I'm Native American." And he says, "Yeah, you're next." Any immigrant, I can imagine the fear that they are living currently.
Department of Homeland Security is holding Native Americans hostage unless tribal leadership signs an immigration agreement allowing federal agents access to tribal lands to conduct immigration raids. Now, the 3 members that the tribe knows about from the Oglala Sioux tribe in Minnesota were detained last week during immigration raids. They weren't at protests. They weren't doing anything other than going about their daily lives and were stopped because of the color of their skin. These are the original citizens of this land. Their ancestry goes back tens of thousands of years. And immigration customs enforcement officers picked them up, detained them, and are now holding them until the tribal leadership agrees to the demands of DHS. This detainment violates a 150-year-old treaty between the United States and the Oglala Sioux Nation. They are their own government. They are their own entity. They have their own lands that they signed a treaty for and to live on. And now DHS is attempting to bypass that treaty illegally, all so that they can go in there and go after more people with brown colored skin, which includes the majority of individuals that are members of that tribe. DHS wants to expand to arresting and detaining, with tribal leadership consent, more Native Americans.
ICE is currently holding 4 Lakota Oglala Native Americans at Fort Snelling, Minnesota, and I need everyone to watch this video to understand how severe this is and the history. The government has had a very long history of holding Native Americans hostage at Fort Snelling. Fort Snelling was once used as a concentration camp. I also need people to remember that this place was also used for the military for the Civil War and the World War II. I also want to add in there that this is where they hung little Sicks in medicine bottle and never returned their bodies. Of Native Americans that are on this land have never actually had a proper burial, so the fact that they're holding more Native Americans on this land is very, very disheartening. ICE is also refusing to let these Native Americans go, which is also very concerning because ICE has no jurisdiction over any Native American. Oglala Lakotas are one of the first original people to be on this land. What they're doing is dishonoring, it's genocide, and they need to stop. This has been going on for years. They have broken treaties, they have violated every law that they have when it comes to us, while we still honor everything and we still try to do it peacefully. I need everyone to share this video because the Oglala Lakota people need your help.
Stop thinking that ICE can deport Native American citizens living in the United States. Even if you were born on an Indian reservation, you're still a United States citizen and cannot be deported by ICE. But there's a lot of confusion and sometimes racial profiling. And so here's what you need to know to protect your rights. Hi, I'm Courtney. I'm a Cherokee attorney in Oklahoma, and I practice federal Indian law, also known as Native American law. When the United States came to be, Native Americans were not considered U.S. citizens, but since 1924, Native Americans have been United States citizens. That means ICE has zero immigration authority to detain you. They have zero immigration authority to deport you. That is the law, and that's how it's been for 100 years. So why are Native Americans still afraid of ICE? Well, because of a story that came out just a few days ago where there was a Native American woman who was in jail and was told that ICE was coming to detain her and to start the immigration process. But what happened is that her name actually got mixed up with another inmate's, and so she never was actually detained, but that threat was there. They wouldn't let her see her family. She was trying to get her birth certificate. She was trying to get her tribal enrollment ID to show she was a U.S. citizen. But all of that still happened, and it's still really scary when you don't know exactly what your rights are and what they may not be. Now, let me be clear. The 2025 Executive Order on Birthright Citizenship does not affect Native Americans because remember, in 1924, Congress passed the act that said all Native Americans are United States citizens. And so that executive order does not affect your right as a U.S. citizen. But mistakes happen, misinformation happens, and fear spreads fast. So if you are ever approached by ICE, just know your rights. Know that as a Native American, you are a United States citizen. And so you have those same protections. You have the right to remain silent. You don't have to answer the door unless they have a warrant. And even then, you can try to get an attorney yourself to help defend against that case. And also, your tribal ID can be accepted as a form of federal identification as well. So don't forget to always have that on you. If you want more Indian country law broken down into ways you can understand, follow along because I do these short little videos all the time.
Man, get in here, get in here, get in here. This is shocking news. And I'm not talking about ICE detaining these phony Native Americans, right? Or some Mexicans or Filipinos. I'm not talking about that, right? I'm not talking about ICE detaining them. Look what they've been doing secretly since we've been opening up our mouth. Go and take a screenshot. But in case you haven't heard, and you know Getty is on the scene, a significant numbers of Native American tribes, basically over 80% of them, have engaged in disenrollment. Why y'all doing this to yourself? I thought y'all was the real Indians. Why y'all running? Why is y'all getting rid of these peoples? Why is y'all running? Don't run that. No, don't run that. And then they call it an enrollment error. An enrollment error. So you removing thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of peoples? No. Over 80% of the tribes. Over 80%. No, what's need to happen is all y'all need to go. Go back to where y'all came from because tribal identity is theft to the so-called Black Americans. Right? And this is what I mean. You see this person came from China, but all of a sudden he's mixed with Native American, right? And white. Or what about this? Russia? But all of a sudden he's an American Indian? He's an American Indian? Really? That's why y'all running? well, run, nigga, run! Cause we ain't gonna stop until all y'all is demolished.
We're citizens.
Okay, then show your ID.
Get your ID. What the fuck? We're Native. What are you doing? Stop. Just get the ID. Police, can you help us? We're citizens. Beto, get your ID. Just get the ID. Yes, he does. You just dropped on the seat. I just handed it to you.
Okay, so why are you guys running?
Because you guys are scary people.
No, we're not.
Let him scan your face. Why'd you hit him? No! Stop! What are you doing? No! Why am I nephew? Okay. Okay. Stop! Ow! Okay, back out! Ow! Back out! No! Why couldn't you help us? They're punching it for no reason in the... Get the police, Papa! Why did he hit me like that? Why did you hit me? That's my daughter's church thing!
And I was getting ready, putting on my work shirt, standing outside of my ride. And all these rides pulled in one after another, the Suburbans, they all get out and they start yelling at me to face my vehicle and put my hands on the top of the vehicle. So I'm all right. Where I'm from, you learn that when it comes to the law, you do what you're told, otherwise things escalate. So I'm being compliant. About 4 or 5 rides down, they pull another guy out of his truck and they drag him on the ground, literally drag him on the ground. And then they tossed me down, knees on the back, facing the pavement. That's when I heard him say immigration control. So I'm like, all right, hey, I'm full-blooded Native. My wallet's in the car. I have my ID in there, my social security card. The backpack in the back seat has my CIB and my birth certificate. And thinking I'm good after all that. And they put me in one of the units. I'm in there for a couple of minutes. And then they start pulling off. So I was like, why are we leaving? You guys have my identification. And that's when they're like, well, that car, it came back under another name. It's not listed under the name that you gave us, which leads us to believe you stole the vehicle and you stole your identity as well. And so I started telling them, hey, I have a job, I have bills, I have kids. And their response was, oh, we'll get them next. Oh, I got picked up by ICE because I look how I do. But I'm not gonna lie, man, I'm not gonna put on some kind of hard front. This is something that has me angry, stressed, and worried. I gotta look over my shoulder all the time now. And what I went through is only a mild taste of what so many others are going through. And it's, at some point, as a human being, you have to come down to a realization that it ain't right. It dehumanizes you to be treated like that. It's like, no matter who you are, if you're waking up at 3, 4, 5 in the morning to build this country, you're treated like a stray dog. You don't belong here. You haven't earned your place here. And not only that, we don't need to earn a place here. This is where we're from. It's where I was born. My parents were born. My grandparents, great-great-grandparents, and all the way down the line. We'd never been nowhere else. We've never known anything else. But we're told we don't belong here by people who aren't from here. And I've traveled this country. I've dealt with racism. But this is beyond racism. This is hating someone like they're a pest or a rodent. This is my house. You don't belong in here.
I know the Americans are tired, and let me tell you something. What is happening right now in the world is spreading across every nation. It's not just only in America, even in Africa, even in my country, Nigeria. We have a lot of things that are changing, that we are beginning to ask questions like, what is actually happening? Although we've been in this circle of corruption that has drained our country of its greatness and resources, but now people are having it, and people are coming out, to like speak against it. And even you, that a lot of people are saying that, okay, the Native Americans, some of them voted for Trump, and now they're receiving what Trump had promised, So why are people acting surprised? Why are people crying out? Because to them, they felt, okay, they can vote whoever they want to vote for, as long as, no one's going to touch them, because they are the real owners of the land. So who would come and take the landlord out of his own land? It doesn't even make sense, right? And black people, for one, them saying that it could happen to anybody. You need to be very careful. You need to vote wisely, and you need to vote the right way. But I guess people didn't want to just believe that, because they felt, okay, it's not going to affect me, so why would I vote for somebody that I do not subscribe to in the first place? I'm just going to vote for the person that said he was going to do it. Trump is going to keep his promises, whether you want to agree with him or not. All he did was just to tell you what he's going to do, and he's delivering on his promises. And people are here coming to say they are regretting for who? Because at the end of the day, you people that voted for him and people that did not vote for him and all suffering. It's just that people that did not vote for him, they've braced up themselves for the impact, and they're not finding it surprising. You're the only ones that are finding it surprising. FAFO. Expeditiously. So guys, if you have come far in this video, please drop your thoughts in the comments. I would like to hear from you. But before you go, kindly hit on the subscribe button, hype this video, hit on the share button, hit on the notification bell in order not to miss any of my videos. See you in the next one. Have a blessed day.